Refueling tyre handlers may seem like a simple job, but if not done the correct way with the correct equipment and training, you can not only cause serious injury, but it can be life-threatening to you and others. You should never refuel a tyre handler or other plant if you are not trained to do so. Remembering that each site will have different rules, procedures, and refueling equipment. Some sites may have fuel stations or fuel pods, whilst others may have fuel trucks as well. You need the correct training for the site you are working on. You also need permission from your supervisor before refueling to confirm that you have the appropriate training and will follow site procedures. There are, however, some rules that will apply to all sites. The most important of these is using the correct refueling system. These can either be standard flow nozzles, like those at a petrol station that cut off automatically when the tank is full, or a fast fill gun type. There are two types of fast fill guns, pressurized and non-pressurized. Both types do have automatic shutoff, but if used incorrectly, the pressurized type can overflow and spill fuel, so the proper training is essential. Never use a fast fill system with an open attachment. If you are unsure about the fast fill system in use, stop and ask your supervisor. You can only refuel a tyre handler in the designated refueling bay. There are several things that you need to check before you bring the vehicle in for refueling. The refueling bay must be more than 10 metres from any naked flame. There can be no electrical infrastructure within 6 metres. Inspect the floor of the refueling bay for any contaminants and clean up as required, for example fuel or oil spills. And there can't be any rags or combustible material on or around the tyre handler. Check that all firefighting equipment is in its correct location. You must also have spill kits available and know how to use them. The entrance must be clear of other equipment or vehicles. You must not smoke in the refueling bay or within 10 metres of the refueling area, depending on the site rules. Once you are satisfied that the refueling bay is set up correctly, you can move the tyre handler into the refueling bay. A second person can help you manoeuvre the machine into the correct position, whilst always maintaining a line of sight and direct, positive communication. Shut down the machine and isolate it, making sure you isolate the tyre handler in accordance with site procedures. Make sure you maintain 3 points of contact when entering or exiting the tyre handler. Before you begin refueling, make sure that only necessary people are in the area. And if you need to, set up barricades to keep the area clear. Make sure you know where the fuel pump isolation points are and where you turn on and shut off the fuel pump. Check the fuel cap seal for any damage. If it is damaged, you must not proceed to refuel and must tag out the machine and notify your supervisor. Make sure that the fuel delivery handle has an automatic shutoff and begin refueling. Never lock open the delivery system with a wedge. When the tyre handler is full, shut off and isolate the pump and refit the fuel cap correctly. Return delivery lines and all other equipment to their approved storage positions. If there are any spills, clean them up immediately and put any oily rags and waste in the oily rag bin. If you have set up barricading, remove it and store it correctly. Once the refueling area is tidy and everything is appropriately stored away, follow the startup procedure for the tyre handler. To recap, always adhere to site-specific procedures. Have the correct training for the site where you are working. Only use the approved fuel delivery systems. Never use a fast fill system with an open attachment. Know where and how to shut off the fuel in an emergency. And finally, if you are unsure about anything, stop and ask your supervisor.